In Blackburn Diocese, we have 190 Church of England schools, the vast majority of which are voluntary aided schools, which meant that when Synod made their declaration to get to zero carbon by 2030, it was particularly interesting for us as that included voluntary aided schools. We therefore bid for government funding through the public sector decarbonisation scheme and were fortunate enough to be awarded £8.5 million to begin to answer those questions. How do you retrofit decarbonise old school buildings, rural school buildings, high school buildings, urban school buildings? And we have over the last few months worked with specialists to determine exactly how we do that. One of the schools we work with is Chorley St Lawrence, which wasn't performing particularly well in terms of its energy usage. So we thought if we can work out how to decarbonise that building, it will give us an idea how we can perhaps decarbonise some other of our school buildings.
We did a review of all the possible options to best suit the school and provide the best decarbonisation result, and we ended up with ground source heat pumps feeding to the existing boiler room and then through to improvements with the existing heating system throughout school. So what we'll end up with here is about 4,500 linear metres of pipework and then 7 boreholes to produce the output that we need.
Chorley St Lawrence was a particularly challenging school because it was oil powered. It didn't have particularly good insulation, the windows were not in a particularly good state, so we needed to address the fabric of the building to make sure that that then could take a heat decarbonised source.
We've also replaced all the lighting in school to LED lighting to reduce the electrical load, and we've also introduced solar panels on the roof, again to provide direct energy, not to have to take it from the grid.
In total, we've had about 25 schools involved in this scheme, and we've ranged from putting air source heat pumps, ground source heat pumps, solar panels, added insulation into those buildings. And we're at a point now of working out just what we've learned from that experience. Across our schemes, we've found out that actually the technology is there, but generally it's expensive. In almost all cases, it's disruptive, but it's a journey that we're committed to taking. If you need to take that journey, the one thing I would highly recommend is to work out what that first step is. For us, that meant we needed a heat decarbonisation plan for all our schools, which are now something that we have got, and we can work out exactly how we do that across the whole of our estate.